Hello, my name is John Jones. I'm a psychic, a channeler, a healer of karma, and a life coach. And tonight's topic is going to be on fragmentation of consciousness. Now, we'll give you a definition and a lot of examples of what I mean by fragmentation of consciousness. We all have many different aspects of our systems. Many of them are conscious aspects, many of them are subconscious aspects, meaning your subconscious isn't just one thing, it's not one function, it's not one integrated state of operation or decision making or interpretation. It's actually made up of all of your beliefs that you've learned in a lifetime, all of your recorded experiences, and the interpretations of those experiences, all of the judgments that you have of yourself or other people, all of your expectations of yourself or other people, all of the roles that you have learned from family or society. It also includes all of the rules that you try to live by or that you have been given to live by society or your family. It's also made up of all of your past life karmic patterns and experiences and all of the decisions and judgments and beliefs and assumptions and interpretations from all of your past lives. So I assume that you can see that there's a lot of different facets, a lot of different pieces to that puzzle. All of that is a lens, a very fragmented lens, through which you look at the world at a subconscious level. Included in that subconscious fragmentation are the influences of your parental energies, which are constantly influencing you at a subconscious level, and which are flowing to you through your lower chakras, generally 1 through 3, perhaps 1, 2, 3, and 4 in many cases. And those influences are constantly coloring your interpretations of your life experience and thus all of your associated decisions and behaviors and emotions. You also have a connection to the consensus consciousness, which is the consciousness of the world. There's a consensus consciousness of all people in the world, a consensus consciousness of your nation, a consensus consciousness of the company you might work for, a consensus consciousness of every group you're part of, and a consensus consciousness of you and your friends, and a consensus consciousness of you and your family. And all of them are influencing you at different levels of your system, consciously or subconsciously, all the time. And in so doing, they are creating much of your experience of life, what you call reality. It's those energies that are constantly flowing into your system which create your experience of life. And then you look out at the world through the lens of the fragmented lens of all of those different aspects of yourself. If you've ever seen on television a view from the eye of a fly has an eye that is multifaceted. It has, as far as I know, hundreds perhaps of different facets, meaning that the view of the world that a fly has is broken up into hundreds of different pieces. And it has the capacity to process that view and make decisions based upon that view. And you, in a way, have a similar capacity. It's just not merely a visual interpretation. It's also an energetic interpretation, an emotional interpretation, an analytical mental interpretation, a karmic pattern interpretation, a influence from the consensus consciousness interpretation. All of those interpretations are coming to your system at a subconscious level and being managed there, either in a functional or less functional way, usually not optimally. And you take all of those interpretations of life based upon those influences and you record them, and you call that, at a subconscious level, what happened in my life for all of your earlier life or earlier lives. You also have many what you might call conscious aspects of your system. And those are energy inflows to your chakras that you receive from other people, communications, body language, what you see with your eyes, what you hear with your ears, what you feel tactilely by interacting physically with the world around you. There's all sorts of conscious interactions and conscious perceptions, and from those perceptions you make interpretations, and then you have emotional reactions that come from those interpretations, and you call that your conscious experience of life. Now, all of these different information inflows, generally speaking, are transparent to you. You don't realize that you're jumping from energy flow to energy flow to energy flow and information channel to information channel to information channel throughout your day. If you did, for most people, because of our current limited state of processing bandwidth, you might call it, our limited capacity to handle all that information all at the same time consciously, you would probably feel overwhelmed. It'd be like trying to answer 1,000 telephones all at the same time. And so it'd be dysfunctional for you to experience all of that information. And yet once you develop your chakras and your internal understanding of how you function much better and clear a lot of the stuff out of your subconscious, you can become empowered to work with a lot more energy and information and knowledge and awareness and understanding than you ever believed possible. Now, you could call all of these different components of your system, the way they're functioning right now, as a set of training wheels. Meaning when you were a child and you rode on a bicycle, you needed a set of training wheels to keep you upright so you didn't fall over. Once you became sophisticated enough in your internal function in terms of keeping your balance and understanding all of the information that was coming to you, as to whether you're going to run into a tree or hit a pothole or whatever, then you don't need the training wheels anymore, and you take them off. And then you can function with the bicycle in a much more sophisticated manner. In a similar way, if you defragment yourself, integrate all of these components of yourself, and heal and clear all dysfunctionalities or limitations of belief or understanding or assumption or expectation or judgments or negative karmic patterns, you get to be a much more integrated being. You may have heard the expression at some point in your life, it's an old one, of a person who is all of a piece, meaning that they are internally, they're very integrated. They're very much themselves. They're able to express how they feel very clearly. They're able to move in terms of accomplishing anything in life that they want to accomplish very powerfully, because they don't have all of the different aspects of themselves pulling themselves in different directions. They move in one direction. When they move in a direction, all of themselves moves in that direction. Another metaphor that may be beneficial, if you've ever seen a woven tapestry, needlepoint or otherwise, where you see a kind of a sewn-in picture of a bunch of people in a crowd. Well, if you could imagine yourself as one of those people in the crowd, you can see in that scenario that there are thousands and thousands of little threads connected to you from all the other people and the world around you that kind of hold you into that picture, hold you into that societal environment. If you become conscious enough of those various aspects of your system, you can snip a lot of those threads, and you can become conscious, you can become self-aware, you can become sovereign, you can step out of the picture. You can be free from many of the less than optimal or functional influences of the world, or your karma, negative karma I mean, or your environment or relationships that don't serve you, that sort of thing. If you're not aware of those different aspects of yourself, you're basically, in a way, not in a negative way, but it's a developmental way, you're learning from all this process. You are imprisoned in a way, or limited by the degree of function of all of the different facets of yourself. You can go beyond that. You can rise above that. You can become more. you can love more, feel more, experience more, learn more, understand more, perceive more, judge less, hate less, get angry less, fear less. You can be more at peace. If you've got all of these internally conflicted emotional states going on all day long, you can feel overwhelmed, you can feel anxious, you can feel fearful, you can feel confused and stressed, and that's not a state of inner peace. That's not a state of joy. That's not a state of compassion and love. And I would simply suggest that you can grow out of this set of training wheels that you have been utilizing, which is a good thing. It served you well to get you to this current level of consciousness at this moment, yet you can go beyond it. So I would not suggest judging any of your current systemic functions, your own judgments, your own beliefs, your own expectations, your own assumptions, your own limitations. I would suggest love them, understand their previous benefit, and be willing to let them go and rise to a higher level of function and understanding and wisdom and awareness and consciousness and love. It's difficult to get there unless you are willing to change. A lot of people don't enjoy change very much. They're afraid of change. They're afraid of seeing the world and feeling the world in a different way. And yet, it's very important, if you want to have a happier life, to be willing to change into that happy life, to change yourself to that happiness, that state, to change your own internal function so you no longer have negative emotional reactions and interactions. You have more of a constant, steady inner peace. Rather than a roller coaster ride of negative and positive emotions, you have a very steady, calm, peaceful, loving state internally. It might not be dramatic, it might not seem as exciting, and yet it's better and it doesn't hurt. So becoming aware of these different aspects of yourself can benefit you in an enormous number of ways in your future, and not just in your current life future, in all future incarnations. If you believe in reincarnation, all steps that you take in this lifetime to invest in your own development, in healing and consciousness and awareness, will benefit you forever. So I would simply suggest that it's beneficial to learn about these parts of yourself, to work with them, to heal them. Meditation is a great way to start. Analytical meditation is a great way to start. Yoga is a great way to start. Reiki, self-healing is a great way to start. Qigong is a great way to start. All of these are ways to attain self-awareness. And self-awareness is always the beginning of understanding, wisdom, healing, attainment of anything truly beneficial. I hope you've enjoyed this conversation, and I hope you have a wonderful evening, and thank you for being here. And we will continue to broadcast for the next few minutes. Thank you.